We always look at the hardest worker as the most successful person, but I personally always admire the person who's figured out how to work really smart so they don't have to work as hard. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Brittany Hayles, and this is Hayles Consulting, a business dedicated to helping motivate you to take ownership of your career. Now, one of the biggest ways to take ownership of your career is figuring out how to work smarter, not harder. And of course, in the beginning of your career, or when you start a new job, or when you start a new business and you have a 9 to 5, you're gonna be working pretty hard because you're trying to figure things out, you're trying to work out your flow, productivity, all that good stuff. But somewhere down the line, you have to figure out how to work less while still producing. So in today's video, I'm gonna be walking you through 3 ways that you can work smarter, not harder. So the first way to work smarter, not harder, is to ask for help or hire help. One of the biggest elements of working smarter is knowing when to hire or delegate tasks that are your weakness. And when I say weaknesses, I don't mean things that you're bad at or not good at. I mean, that could be them, but I'm not really referring to those things. I'm referring to parts of a project or your business or your job that you don't do as efficiently. Maybe you're not as fast at them, or it takes you a really long time to complete them, or every time you do, you have a ton of mistakes. And when I say delegate, that doesn't always mean give that task to somebody else, because now it's somebody else's problem. Sometimes you will have to do that. But I'm also talking about just speaking to an individual who you know is an expert in that field, who's really good at what it is that you're trying to do. They probably have some inside information on how to complete that task way faster, or they may tell you what you're trying to do. You actually don't even need to do it. Do this instead, and you'll cut your time in half. We've all been in a situation where you're working on a project or something for your business or your job, and you go ask somebody else for help, and they're like, oh, that's easy. And this project that was initially supposed to take you 5 days to complete has now taken you 5 hours, because either that person was like, oh, I'll do it for you, or they showed you how to do it in much less time. It's not always about giving the person a task. Sometimes it's about asking them, how can I do this better? That is the idea of delegation. And when you get into that mindset of like delegating tasks and thinking about who can I ask for help, you will ultimately start working smarter. And even an example for me when it came to hiring people. In the beginning of my business here with Hayles Consulting, I was making these videos, so recording them and then also editing them. And I was editing them because I have a 9 to 5 job in addition to this business. What ended up happening was that I had to edit these videos on the weekend. Let me be real with you. I'm not trying to work on the weekend. Nobody should be working on the weekend unless you have a weekend job, right? I didn't want that. So I said, you know what, Brittany? You have a 9 to 5 job. You're spending money on shoes. You're spending money on clothes. You're spending money on food. Like, how about you draw back some of that money and put it into hiring a video editor? And that's exactly what I did. I got my weekends back. I mean, I still like do a little bit of content creation on the weekends and whatnot because I need to hire for that too, but you know, one step at a time. But you get the point. I took back some of my time by giving and hiring somebody else to complete the task for me. And they honestly are doing a much better job than I previously was, because they're an expert in it. They know the graphics, they know the editing software, they know a lot more than I do. The second way to work smarter, not harder, is to condense meetings and automate tasks. We've gotten so used to working all the time and being busy all the time and working so hard that what ends up happening is that we end up wasting our time. Because we're so obsessed with working and so obsessed with working so hard, we end up wasting time by just unnecessarily working hard. So one of the biggest elements of working smarter is actually becoming more cognizant of how you spend your time. And one of the biggest eaters of time is meetings. And when I say meetings, I mean unnecessary, non-valuable, kiki, kickback, let's chit chat meetings. The ideal workday is 9 to 5. 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. The average person, it does not work 9 to 5. Let's be real. The average person is probably working from 9 to 7, sometimes later, unfortunately, which is not what we want to be doing. Now, if you have this 9 to 5 block and 3 to 4 hours of that time is taken up by meetings, and half of them are unnecessary, now you only have about 3-4 hours to do the task that could have been done while you were in those meetings. So in order to get your time back and to work smarter, not harder, you're gonna have to condense some of those meetings. I'm sure that there are recurring meetings on your calendar. I'm sure that there are meetings that could be condensed. There are meetings that could be eliminated altogether. A lot of us have teams that we manage or teams that we're on where it's like 3 times throughout the week, you're having a meeting and no new information is being provided or given. It honestly just turns into a kickback and it's a waste of everyone's time. It could have been an email, boop, boop, bop, whatever. And to be completely honest, those type of situations and meetings are making us work way harder than we need to, because now you had an hour meeting where you could have been working, so you got to add an hour to the end of your workday to get done what could have happened in that hour meeting. So to eliminate this and start working a lot smarter, I would love for you to go through your calendar and figure out like what are those meetings that could be condensed. Do you have 2 meetings throughout the week where the same information is being provided every time? That could happen. Combine them into one time slot. Now you have some time throughout the day. Can you shorten your meetings? There's so many ways in which to do it. Can you eliminate some meetings altogether? If you have a meeting that's on a certain cadence, whether it's monthly or bi-weekly, is there a way for you to say, hold up, we don't even need to meet every week. We can meet every other week. We can meet once a month. Like, think about it in that way. But the way you have to think about it is like every time you're in a meeting, you can't work. So unless that meeting is providing you a lot of value and a lot of information to be able to do your work, it's almost like not necessary. I'm not saying like eliminate all your one-on-ones and your fun chats and your kiki and kickback time, but I'm asking you to take more control of your time and be cognizant of the fact that every time you spend 2 hours in an unnecessary meeting, you are wasting your time that could have been used to shorten your workday by getting work done. And the other way to take your time back is to start automating tasks. There are so many Gmail plugins, Google Chrome plugins, Safari plugins, all types of tools and software that can automate tasks for you. Like, let's say there's an email you send out every single morning and you are literally copying and pasting all the email addresses, all the names, all the messages all over again, and that takes you maybe 20 minutes. You can get that 20 minutes back by just simply automating that email through an extension or a plugin. And if you're like me and like you can't quite put your full faith into automation, set up a reminder before the automated thing is about to go out or be completed and after it's about to be completed to make sure that it actually goes out and to make sure that it actually went out. But the moral to the story is, in order to work smarter, you got to take ownership of your time. Now, the third way to work smarter, not harder, is to pay attention to your habits on a really efficient workday. Even as a business owner, beyond habits, sometimes it actually functions within your business that are working well, right? So I notice, like, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a business owner. Sometimes there's content on my platform that doesn't do well, and there's content that goes viral and blows up and is really successful. So if I continue to make content that's not doing well, I mean, there's a chance that it could eventually do well at some point, but the reality is that if this type of content, maybe, my interview questions, videos continues to keep doing well, maybe I should do more of those types of videos. If I see that life advice videos are not really doing as well, then I won't make as many of those, or I'll make them less often, because now what's happening is I'm spending so much time making life videos, they're not doing well, but these videos are, and now I'm working so hard over here, not really seeing much results, not seeing a lot of views, not really seeing a lot of subscribers. Whereas over here, if I spent more of my energy with those interview videos, I may see more reviews, probably see more subscribers, and get to my goals of where I want my YouTube channel to be much faster. So it's even beyond just like thinking about, the habits that you have at work, but it can be the habits within your business as well. Like, what's working really well? Pay attention to those things and keep doing them, because that's what working smarter is about. It's about continuing and automating those habits that bring you so much success and discontinuing the ones that don't. And you don't have to discontinue them immediately, because obviously, it takes time to see what's working and what's not working. But if over a series of time, you keep doing this thing and it ain't working, it's not bringing results, don't keep doing it, because you're wasting your time again. And you're not working smarter, you're working harder. So remember that working smarter is all about being cognizant and precious with your time, making sure that you are delegating tasks, asking for help, and hiring help when need be, and being very clear about what's working and what's not working, continuing what's working and discontinuing what's not working. As I said earlier in this video, I'm a career coach and I love helping my clients figure out how to be more productive, how to reduce the amount of time they're spending at work. And I am one of these people that is on the journey as well. There are days where I'm working really late, or there's times where I'm working and I really don't want to. But that's the nature of the game. Like, we're always growing and evolving and changing. And so I want to teach you personally one-on-one the tips that I've learned. So definitely set up some time with me at info@haylesconsulting.com. Also click the link in the description box below where you can learn more about setting up that career coaching session one-on-one. Thank you all again so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you for subscribing and liking and all of the above. Also comment down below if you have any strategies that have helped you out on working smarter. We want to know from you as well. Do not forget to share this video with everyone who you know would benefit from it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.